All right.
Here we go.
You can press play.
Welcome to Drawing Hive.
All right.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Just a reminder, if you don't remember, we're going to tell you Visual Arts Passage is the engine behind the I guess what's the right thing? I'm kind of screwing up here. I thought I had a good line and I screwed it up. It's the driver of Drawing Hive.
Like the fuel of Drawing Hive?
Yeah, there you go. It's the engine behind Drawing Hive is what I should have said.
Oh,
So
there we go.
Yeah.
anyway, first lesson is
It's more of a sail.
yeah.
The base of Drawing Hive.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway, Visual Arts Passage, if you don't know, we are a online mentorship program. We help artists develop careers in illustration and as gallery artists, and we are extremely good at it. So check us out if you're interested. So tonight, if you're here to draw, we're drawing Stephen King. Well, not Stephen King particularly, but Stephen King characters from his movies, from some of his movies. And it's interesting. I was having this conversation with Timmy talking about Stephen King's taste in movies.
Yeah.
We could talk about that further, but
Yeah, we're gonna dig into it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because we got, I think we got some great shots here.
Yeah,
Sissy Spacek from Carrie,
classic.
Jack Nicholson from The Shining. If anybody wonder what Edward Kinsella looks like, that's him right there.
Yeah.
We have Tim Curry from It. Yeah, is Pennywise. And last but not least is Miko Hughes is from Pet Sematary. And I love the anger on that kid's face.
Oh my gosh.
I
I can't draw this one because it just terrifies me.
Yeah. So anyway, we do three poses, two 20-minute poses and one 40-minute pose. You can draw the same character the whole night. You can try to draw them all. You can work in whatever materials you want. You can ask us questions and we'll try to provide some answers. So I'm ready to go. So let's get drawing.
All right. And just a reminder, please, take a photo of your work, share it on Instagram with us during the episode. I'm going to let you know throughout the night as we're moving on, just to keep your pacing so you can hit all the images if you want. The hashtags tonight are hashtag Drawing Hive, Visual Arts Passage, and hashtag Drawing Hive 222, episode 222.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like before we're going to be at 300 pretty soon. Yeah, no, John and I were talking about how it's Stephen King's interesting and it's hard to know. I followed him on Twitter for a really long time until I just got so tired of his really bad takes on movies. And then the most notable one being that he hated Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
Right. Well, it's very
Advised it.
different from his book.
Right. As most great adaptations to film are, like
I can understand why
hated it.
he would be sensitive to that,
Yeah,
but I don't know what his other tastes
have
are.
you seen the made for TV version of it that he
Oh,
praised?
totally, starring Steven Weber. Of course I watched it.
And it's horrible. And he was
Oh,
like,
but I also like it.
It's gold. It's gold. Stephen King was like, gold, baby, print it.
That's like a great snow day watch,
Yeah.
if you don't have small children around. That's
But talk about a genius mind, the guy. The stories that Stephen, I mean, oh my God. Also the breadth of storytelling and just genre that he can do. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Love Stephen King. But I don't agree on his Shining take, which is okay.
Right.
Are you guys, do you guys do Halloween decorations? Cassandra, you have to, right?
Oh yeah, I just made a paper mache cement pumpkin for out front that's hollow and lit.
This carved pumpkin and a butterfly landed on it this morning.
Oh yeah, I made it. But sorry, my daughter's in the room for the first pose.
No, it's really nice because we don't have a guest tonight. We don't have an honorary guest tonight, so this is perfect.
Yay.
So your daughter is our honorary guest.
All
Yeah.
right, Verity, you get to be the honorary guest, love.
You've just
Oh,
been
wow.
elevated.
Yeah, you just got a job.
You better start
Yeah.
selling that.
What materials are you using tonight?
Verity, what materials are you drawing with? She said markers.
Nice. Markers are a good place to start. For anybody wondering, I just
She got real specific. Color Max, Corolla markers.
color map. Yeah, I heard that those are pretty sought after.
This is great, Timmy. We're gonna get found out that anybody can do this.
yeah, that I can pretty much ask anyone the same series of questions and cover the same ground.
It worked.
If you don't
right?
tell them, they won't know.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. For anybody wondering, I dropped a link to the photo reference in the chat. It's also in the email that you all get every week. Awesome. John, do you do Halloween decorations?
It's been a long time.
Really?
Well, not that long. It's been about. Well, we haven't our new house. All we do is like, we do stuff on our front door.
That's nice. Like just like a single thing that you hang on it that just is like Halloween.
Pretty much.
It's just so you guys can remember what month it is.
It's not as involved as our Christmas, which is not all that involved anymore either. So
Yeah,
Yeah, we go all out here for just any holiday, but like we have a lot of fun with Halloween inside the house and out.
do you have the like Costco 10-foot skeleton on the front yard?
No, my daughter would, my other one would not be a fan of that. But we have like a pumpkin totem that like I carved these craft pumpkins and we stack them out front and light them up.
Oh, the butterfly.
Yeah, that was the butterfly landed on that. And there's a wreath, and then we have like I crocheted a life-size zebra head, and so we decorate that for every holiday. So it's wearing Halloween decorations now.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
My mom's neighbor has a ceramic donkey that is at like the end of her driveway. It's like large, right? It's pretty cool.
She
and
friends.
she paints it every month a different theme to match the theme, and it's become kind of like a local thing that people talk about, like on like like on Nextdoor and stuff. And it got it's been getting beat up by some. It sounds like some high school has made it a tradition to destroy it once a year. Yeah. And
I need to go after and give them a strong talking to. That is not
I know.
okay.
So it's made the donkey recently made the news. It like got in the news for the kids that destroyed it.
They should get in trouble for that. That is just horrible.
Yeah. We got Raymond in the house.
Hey, Ray.
Raymond Bonilla's here.
Who's that?
Oh, don't act like I didn't see the call out in the email.
Oh, you didn't like that? I knew you were going to show up early. Yeah. I've noticed that
That was amazing, by the way.
Oh, my meme?
Yes, the Ray reference.
Yeah,
so I didn't even see it at first, and so then I was trying to find the link, and then I have like 1,000 tabs open, and so I click it and I click the wrong tab again, and I'm like, did that say Ray Bonilla late? I'm like, no, no way.
He wouldn't dare.
Well played.
He wouldn't dare.
Well, he wouldn't dare. He wouldn't dare. He's got too much to live for.
Yeah. Oh, you'd think I'd be busy, but I have enough time. No, I've learned that people under the age of 25 that have any interest in our program, that the only way to communicate with them is via meme. via messaging that mimics meme like the meme setup. So
I get it. So I'm a 40-year-old in a I have a 40-year-old's body, but I'm a 25-year-old or a 20-year-old at heart.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the attention span of a 20-year-old.
So Ray, we were just talking. Do you do Halloween decorations?
That's a good question. I don't know yet because I'm in a new area. We're
Yeah.
not going to probably get there. Probably not this year, but maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you go all out?
historically have you?
Do you normally decorate like
No.
not in a moving year?
No, because we never
Well,
really
mine-
had the house to.
There we
We
go.
had like huge bushes in front of our house, so we couldn't really hang. We tried hanging things here and there, but
Ray, this is easy. Cobwebs. That's what you do with
I
the
know,
bush.
but
You
you
keep
know,
cobwebs on.
wildlife.
yeah, we just don't clean. You just don't clean. Yeah.
No, you get the,
Uh,
you get the cotton, like, cobweb effect. You
How
put a
about
large
that
spider.
for wildlife?
Well, how about this? I'm gonna reveal something on Drawing Hive that I don't that many people know. I'm actually not a big fan of Halloween.
Really? It scares you? Is it too spooky for you, Ray?
No, it's
Your screen's all
with the
black.
whole.
Your screen is, I'm going to throw you off right now. Your screen's just been black since you got on here. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, you're
It's
There we
nice.
go.
Oh, there we go. Right on.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. I hear the producer in the back.
You can hear her. She's helping out
Yeah.
today.
Yep.
That's awesome. I love it. Did she put the meme together?
Oh, hands down. Just in seconds.
Yeah.
Cassandra's part of the meme studio, Visual Arts Passage, which just
Yeah.
means I make a meme. I texted Cassandra based on either a haha or a I don't get it.
Because I'm always the first to like them too on the Instagram
Yeah.
page because I'm entertained by them.
Yeah. How about the audience vote? Because the algorithm seems to only care about the memes that we post, but does the audience care? Do the people who actually matter care? Because I'll tell you what, I don't like making them.
What?
I don't enjoy making them.
They're
That's not true.
fun.
It's
That's not true.
It's not.
So
It's
it's the first
it's
time
more
on,
just
on
like,
this on
you
this
know what
show
it
that
is?
you've lied outright.
No,
to
I'm
us.
not. I'm not lying. It's more frustrating that people are like, I want to see art. I like art. I want to see art. And then I post art. Nobody comments. Nobody does anything. And then I post a meme that's like, don't you ever feel like this? And people, it gets like literally like 12,000 views in a couple hours. It's a
Well,
weird.
I think you're the Seinfeld. You can always can't go wrong with Seinfeld, in my opinion. But
truly that
I am not. I can't be unbiased though because
yeah.
I'm from New York and it's
Yeah.
it's genetically programmed into me that I'm
Yeah,
a
what
fan
are
of Seinfeld.
What are we doing here, man? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Right. Adam, that is so
Adam's
creepy.
here. That just is a great entrance.
I just
right
saw
there.
a single
So
blood.
you want to be an artist?
Yeah.
You got to drip
Adam.
the paint.
Adam,
do you
what are
decorate? Adam decorates for Halloween.
Adam, what are you doing? You're muted, but what are you doing? No, you're just really, really quiet.
You are really quiet.
I was having weird
Now you
stuff.
sound good.
How many times are you going to join this meeting?
I know.
And not realize that your mic can't be in the other room?
Yeah, it's the difference between like a good day and a bad day for me doesn't
Yeah.
involve settings. It's just like the placement of like Mars in this night sky.
Let me guess. Let me guess which image you're drawing first. Carrie?
Yeah, you might be onto it.
Any idea why I guessed that? Yeah.
Nope.
All right, here's a question. We do this question every year about 4 times the month of October. Favorite horror films. Ray, you want to go first? You got some favorites?
I actually, so I am not a horror film person, but I will say that I think The Thing
Yeah.
Not the original, but the Kurt Russell version is my favorite.
Absolutely. Kurt Russell one's amazing. Yeah.
Which I didn't realize was a remake. I've never seen the original one.
The
And I
original
think
is actually really good.
Really?
Yeah. It's for being like it shouldn't be. It should be like that, B camp thing.
Yeah.
The characters are like really well written and well developed for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Last Christmas, me and Gianna, my wife, watched it, and it was really funny because Gianna had never seen it before. And so she wasn't as accepting as some of the like missing logic as maybe the people who've championed it for a long time. And she was like, aren't they just like research scientists? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, why do they have so much dynamite?
Yeah.
And I was like,
ask that question.
literally,
appreciate that
I was,
question, Gianna.
what simple answer? Tough guy heaven. It's
Right.
tough guy heaven. It's just a bunch of bros in a cold, like, place that doesn't allow any life. And they just brought, what do we need to bring? Dynamite and
Yeah.
a bunch.
How are we going to know what's underneath the ice if we can't blow it up to see?
Yeah.
I believe that's like the solution of the turn of the century, like as in, 1800s and into 1900s. I feel like that was how they solved everything. They're like, let's get a train through here. Bring the dynamite. Let's build this. Let's make this a park. Bring the dynamite.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's what they were just referencing.
The good old days.
Dynamite to blow holes in the ice. I always thought it was drilling. Dynamite, I'm just imagining burrowing your way. I understand that there's probably a logical reason why you would need dynamite, but it was just a funny question. And also it didn't seem like they were not really using it until they needed to use it for violence.
I'm pretty sure dynamite is not. Yeah, it's not like. I mean, like it's not like when we we're talking to Jean-Michel Cousteau. I didn't see any dynamite in the background. Just stacks and stacks of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I on the topic of Jean-Michel, I know a Jean-Michel Cousteau dynamite story. When I was in France, I visited his childhood home, which is cool because it's the home where they invented, the aqualung with Jacques Cousteau, and they had a pool and you could swim it. It was just it wasn't, it was a pool that was built by like a French dude in the 1930s. So really beautiful.
Oh, no way.
Like hand designed like mosaic art inside of it. And then if you swam down, so the pool was in a hill, and if you swam down, there was a glass window. This sounds really fancy. It was all just done by it was done over 100 years. It was probably the oldest pool I've ever been in. I haven't been in that many pools, but there was a window. You could look out and you could look at the ocean from the window. Right?
What?
Yeah. And so I swam down in the pool and I was looking out the window and there's a crack in the glass
of the
pool, right? And I was like, Jean-Michel, why? Wait, you got some pool repair ahead of you. Like, what happened to the glass? And he was like, my father during World War II had a grenade and he wanted to know what would happen if he tossed it in the pool.
Oh my god.
I was like, yeah, that checks out. That's definitely that's definitely the move of another research scientist.
Yeah. Right.
A fellow scientist and dynamite, right?
Sometimes curiosity kills the cat. Sometimes it just blows up your pool.
I mean, yeah.
Well, if the cat's in the pool, it will kill it.
That's right.
Yeah. That was like a pretty simple problem to be like, yeah, you probably shouldn't throw that in the pool with the glass window.
Oh, really?
In general, I just don't think you should toss it anywhere, especially around your house.
Yeah, near your house. It was a different time.
Yeah.
No, Adam, Cassandra, John, you guys got any horror movies you love?
I feel about horror movies actually. I guess the way Ray feels about Halloween. Like they
don't like them. They scare you.
They scare me. I know they're supposed to, but I don't like when they scare me.
I'm with you, Adam. It's not a big thing for me, but I will tell you the one I was scared the most was, I was a kid and I know it's not probably considered, I know they remade it, but the Haunting of Hill House scared me to death,
Oh.
the original one.
Wow.
My daddy watched Alien when he was 10.
So,
But I take that back. As a child, I loved like the Frankenstein and werewolf movies, The Mummy. I thought those were great. The slasher films and things that went beyond, something that was not a monster movie, that was, I could get the disbelief out of it pretty quickly. Those things I don't enjoy. I don't like being, like uptight at a movie.
Like psychological horror.
Yeah.
Or
Well, slasher films, like I know they're
Uh-huh.
different. They're not, but I like Last House on the Left and
yeah.
anything you would call slasher movie is not for me.
Uh-huh.
I think like for rewatchability, I always loved the original Poltergeist. Like that's just a fun movie for me. But the one that is still scares me and I can never watch again is The Conjuring. Like I'm like if my husband wants to mess with me, he'll just like come near my ear and like clap, and I get so mad. I'm like, oh, I can't stand it.
I think for me, I think Jordan Peele is currently the master of horror films, which is wild for how like
Can you imagine saying
oh
that
my
statement
gosh.
10 years ago?
Right?
I believed it.
You'd be like, the guy
I mean,
from Key and Peele? Yeah, right, man.
yeah, I mean,
Come on.
but like he is, it would upset people, but I think he's like a world-class director. I think he's,
Oh, I wholeheartly
Oh,
agree.
yeah.
I think he's going to
Agree.
be,
Yeah.
I think he's going to go down in history as like one of the best directors all time. Like one
Really?
of the best, relax, one of the best. I didn't say best. Like for anybody getting upset. But yeah, I mean, if I were to point to, I mean, unless you're just willing to say no one in there, like if for him not to be, you would have to be like, no one of this generation is going to make history. Cause I think he's at the top of this current generation.
Absolutely. I think so.
I can't think of.
He's
a
definitely in
long
the
list.
artiste category for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm trying to think of other directors that are like around that age and that. Yeah, because like I feel like there has to be, and this is a great question that maybe we'll pull it back to the world of art, is like every generation has their greats because like they spoke to that generation. And like and like to say, it's like there's always going to be a new class because they spoke the language of people of that time,
Right.
and so yeah, because I know people have gotten really like they've gotten like really they just start mentioning like they go on like the rabbit hole of like all the great directors, and you're just like, well, I don't know, there's a lot that Jordan Peele can say that like Scorsese can't.
Mm-hmm.
I think they
that's
have.
not a dig
I
that's
think,
not a dig at all at
yeah.
Scorsese.
No, it doesn't feel like a take.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's a style thing. It's like he made the movie that he
Yeah.
he could make, and it was
Yeah.
clearly like he wasn't trying to be the next Scorsese or Spielberg. He's very very true to himself, and that's
Right.
I mean he was coming from I would think would be an extremely lucrative comedy gig that he could have milked that for the rest of his career, right? I mean,
Yeah.
We did a
in
big
theory.
pivot.
Yeah.
I've heard
That's
comedians talk about that leap that he took, like when he took it, because they were just as surprised,
Mm-hmm.
just being like, well, all of a sudden he kicked down a door and then he was like hanging out with like Alex Garland and like, Refn and like all these like
yeah.
like iconic directors. And they're like, wait, what did you do?
Yeah.
I don't know. He also, yeah, he's got that style where it's literally you can see a film now and be like, that was very Jordan Peele-esque,
Mm-hmm.
which that's
Mhm.
pretty, I feel like pretty rare now.
Well, and you know, his production company, even if he's not directing it, it is something that belongs in his wheelhouse. Like he has a voice and he keeps people, like he works with the people that also have similar ideas.
Right.
I'm pretty biased because yeah, he's obsessed with the Twilight Zone, which
Hmm.
that was
Oh,
my
he is?
yeah.
Oh,
When I was in high school, I was obsessed with the Twilight Zone. Um, like really, really obsessed with it. And there was a opportunity when I was a senior. I was not involved in theater at all. I kind of floated through high school, not with a lot of hobbies. And there was an opportunity to direct a play at our high school where they would like give you all the resources and you just had to like present a case for like the play you wanted to direct. And I directed a three episodes of the Twilight Zone.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
wow.
And one was the Monkey's Paw, which is the name of his production company, Monkey
Oh,
Paw
so you're
Productions.
already
So
like
oh
really
man, I
best
love
friends.
it. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. If I met Jordan Peele, it'd be so cringy. He'd be like, how can I make this last longer?
I would so love to be there just to watch it.
Oh, it would be awful. Yeah, I would like to never meet him.
I get to see you be
Yeah.
like, and then you know what else you do that's awesome? Let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever
Yeah.
heard of the Twilight Zone?
Oh yeah.
You know what?
You
You
could
know
play it
what?
off.
We should be friends over Monkey Paw alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be so pathetic. Yeah. Um, Paranormal Activity still gets me. That was a
Yeah, that's a good
terrifying.
one.
It's a good one. A good one. Super. One of the most profitable movies ever made.
You know, I don't, this is going to age me, but one that just sticks out from my childhood is Watcher in the Woods. Did you guys ever see that?
No, never heard of
No,
it.
Oh
thank you.
my gosh. It's a
Watcher in the
Disney
Woods.
movie from the late
Yeah.
1970s, and it's
It's
Betty Davis'
terrifying.
last film. And
Oh, I know what that
What?
is.
It was Betty Davis. That was her last film.
that was her last film. Like, you want an eerie film that you don't know where it's going to go, you go watch Watcher in the Woods.
Wow. Yeah, I
That
mean,
is
like the
my hot
Simpsons
button.
Treehouse of Horror would make me uncomfortable. I mean, so I'm not, you know, the fact that I even watched the thing. I watched the thing in my 30s, so or my mid 20s.
I opened up the
And I
chat,
was like,
people. So, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, but
Continue. No, you continue.
well, so even that I was like, okay, well, I'm only gonna watch it during the day, and we got to watch something else right after it.
I do like Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yes, that's very good.
Yes, I love that one.
Yeah, I
Everybody,
could do
I
that.
opened up the chat. I opened up the chat for everyone on Zoom. Let us know your favorite horror movie. Didn't
I,
mean to
I
cut
have
you guys
watched
off.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
I did watch.
I could watch those things. Those are
Night of the
fun.
Living Dead is a truly an intellectuals movie.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of gets brushed off as like just a zombie flick, you know?
Is it considered kind of like the OG of it,
I think
of
so.
those types of films? Yeah,
I'd love to know.
kind of amazing. It's kind of
Yeah.
it's I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I was really shocked how good of a movie it was. I'm like, wow, this is terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen the whole version, the whole thing.
Yeah, it was part of my re-education when I went to grad school. I had to
That makes
watch. I
so
had to
much sense.
watch. I had to watch all of that stuff. A lot of loose ends. But yeah, I mean, I think horror movies. It's funny because it's now become kind of transmedia, right? Someone's favorite. I know there are a couple people that I was talking to. Their favorite horror moment was playing The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and I mean, I just finished it up like a couple of months ago, and I understand why. It was just terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. To that.
I've never
Sounds
played a
like
video
it.
game like that. Yeah, it's
I couldn't do
terrifying.
it.
So I read the graphic. I read as much as I could tolerate the graphic novel for The Walking Dead before
Yeah.
it, like the first omnibus or whatever. Am I saying that right? I've
Yeah.
never heard someone say it. I've only ever read it. So it's one of those words where you're like, horse devres. You're like, no, it's
Thoughts
order.
pass.
Yeah, right. No,
Yeah.
so I wanted to get ahead of that one, but um the Walking Dead was fun. And I think this is maybe no longer true totally because the series became so incredibly bad. But for a while there, it was like the Walking Dead graphic novel became a show. The show was better than the graphic novel by miles. Um, in that you could really graph out in the storytelling why the show was better. And even like a lot of the publishers were like, oh yeah, the show worked out a lot of the kinks that the graphic novel ran into by like
Mhm.
cutting off Rick's arm in the in the graphic novel was like a terrible choice because
Yeah,
now
that's
it's
what I
like
heard.
how does he do every single situation he ends up into? It's like, how does he do it with one arm? It became like a thing that went through the whole series. But anyway, so the series was better than the graphic novel, but then the series became a game by Telltale Games, and the game was so much better than the series. And
Yeah.
so it kept like getting better. It was kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, they were hitting it out of the. There was like a they couldn't make a bad decision. There was a point at which like everything was. I mean, it was like an event when the
Mhm.
new episode came out for the. I remember for the TV show and actually for the game because the game itself was episodic.
Yeah. The
Like you
game
had to
was,
buy every chapter,
yeah.
Oh, I
um,
didn't know that.
and it yeah. As my brother had played it, and he was showing me, he was like, "What should I?" You know, we came to a point where it was like, "What should I do?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. This is like morally questionable either way." You know, we had to like leave somebody, and it was like, "Oh no, I don't know. Like
Oh
they
yeah.
might be affected, though." You know?
It was fun to get together with like we'd have like 5 people. This was back during my single days. I lived in a warehouse. We would play it. I lived in a warehouse I rented from John, and we would
Down by
play it
the
and be like
river.
down it was down by the river. Literally. It was within a stone's throw of the river. And it would be 5 people yelling about what choice to make. And you know, I was always like, let's be as evil as possible because
It's
in a
my
game,
only. It's one of
Because
my
why not?
few.
because why
Yeah,
not?
why
Yeah,
not?
exactly. I'm like the Joker.
Yeah,
Because why not?
yeah.
No.
Wow.
John, should we make this educational?
I,
Nice pivot
I,
there, Timmy.
I don't know if it's possible at this point.
Well, let's give it a try. All right.
I'll give it a shot.
Classes join up.
Oh, and before you kick this off, John, everybody, we should move on to our second pose. It's hashtag drawing hive at Visual Arts Passage and hashtag drawing hive 222. Post it to Instagram. We're going to check it out at the end of the night.
Okay. So you guys may have saw my sidebar there and you may already know, but I'm going to ask our group of artists here, the panel, who would be a really good artist for tonight to talk about, to discuss? I get nothing.
Marshall
I
Eric.
Is everybody muted?
What?
No,
No.
I like totally blanked and I didn't see the side panel, so I couldn't cheat. So then I was like, oh man, now I've got nothing. My brain emptied.
All right. So think horror.
I went Marshall Ericsson, but we're not thinking that, right?
No, we're not doing that. I kind of brought up an intellectual property that he was famous for, one of the movies I liked a lot.
Is it Constella?
Yeah, we'll just go forward.
Well, I mean, you could. Well, I mean, like, Bernie Wrightson.
Hey,
okay.
I gotta give credit where credit's due. Frank Furr in the comments guessed it, but
Cool. Well,
cool.
I'm glad somebody got it.
Good for you,
No,
Frank.
you threw me off. That wasn't fair, John. I could add a list for you.
Well,
I was like, man, what?
I
I was
know
like, who was he thinking about? Reynold
something
Brown?
like that is way too broad for Ray. It's like he's thinking of our history in general, trying to narrow it down from thousands of names.
Well, I got thrown
Yeah.
off because you're like, I already mentioned his intellectual property, and then I was like, well, you just said that, Ed Kinsella looked like Jack Nicholson, so that's all I could then I
No,
got
yeah, that's true. I guess I did. That was good.
All
Good.
right.
It was a good connection.
All
So
right, should we do this?
yeah, I'm gonna do it. So Bernie Wrightson, born in 1948 in Baltimore, Maryland. I am a comic fan now, but I'm not like, I don't know very much history of it, and I haven't followed anything, but I've like kind of cherry picked some of the comic artists I've been introduced to and over time that I really, really like their work. And I do remember, I always joke about me not reading and connecting to stories or personal things from artists like Ray knows everything about every artist he looked at. I look at the pictures a lot, but I remember George Pratt showing me this and seeing Stephen King's name wrote the introduction to this. So I thought that's when I was thinking about what to do. And I go, that would be really cool. And plus it's just a masterpiece, this graphic novel.
God, so good.
This thing,
This is like, imagine if Franklin Booth only like grew up watching horror movies. Like,
yeah, this thing's so well done all the way through. The imagery, the drawing, storytelling, it's fantastic. So I'm going to start here because this is how I learned about Bernie Wrightson. And so just check these things out.
Oh, amazing.
Drawing, composition, storytelling. The compositions of these things are amazing. This is probably the first thing I ever saw, first piece I ever saw of his.
That's a good one.
that's pen and ink.
Yep.
Frankenstein, shredded Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Lived outside of a gym.
Yeah, he was like Gold's Gym. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
just to and part of how I kind of discovered this and learned about, I was learning about the studio, which is a group of artists that he was involved with, like a co-op that they shared space, and it included Jeff Jones, Michael Kaluta, Barry Windsor Smith, and all phenomenal in their own right. And George Pratt kind of educated me on these people a little bit, introducing. I knew who a couple of them were. I knew who Jeff Jones was for sure. But as as I started looking at this stuff, I was totally just blown away, just absolutely amazed at how well done this graphic novel is. And there's a lot more crossover with him and Stephen King. He did the poster for the horror film Creepshow, which is a Stephen King thing. He illustrated the Cycle of the Werewolf, and a couple of other things that I'll show you here in a few minutes. He got into comics by attending a comic convention, 1967, and he ran across this guy. He met this person named Frank Frazetta. Told him that he should be, where to go and who to talk to at DC Comics. And it really kicked off his career. He was educated. This is really interesting. He's a graduate or completed the famous artist school, the correspondence
I
course.
did not know that.
I
Wow.
did not know it either. That's another feather in his cap there. It was a great group of artists. I threw these in here because these were,
Oh,
this was some of the
Wow.
studies, the process work for the book. Just happened to run across them. Killer
John, is
stuff.
that in the book itself?
I don't know. I can't, I don't have the book. I remember, I don't think it is.
Okay.
I remember, me looking through the book with George and seeing individual pieces. But I don't remember the process work being in there. These are like, Stephen King, when he was doing creepy and eerie stuff. These are all like book related Stephen King things. And, this next one really gets me. Oh no, not this one, not this one. This was like
Right, do you like that one?
another creepy and eerie thing. But this one did a TV guide cover, which I never knew that. And I just thought it was
know that
interesting. So that's the show that you were talking about, isn't it, Cassandra? The miniseries, the television
Totally,
Yeah.
totally. Starring Steven Weber.
See how I brought
Becca
everything,
Demore.
I brought everything together tonight. It was
Full circle
You know, you-
moment, John. Well
Full circle.
done.
all right. This is this is a book he didn't finish. Somebody else, somebody had to step in and finish it. And it's like a whole collection of things that related to this book that ended up in it. Not all of it's his artwork. But here's two of the pages from it, which I just thought are incredible.
Man.
Look at that panel on the left.
Mm.
Great drawing. That's some storytelling going on there. And then this is really early comic work that he was doing right when he got started. And I know
You could see how the influence of the Frazetta's time of illustrating comics with like him, Angelo Torres, Al Williamson, like the Fleegle gangs, where it's much more kind of illustrative style, very like involved, valley work and things like that.
Right.
Oh man, Hooky. That is a scary. I own that one. That was one of the scariest comic books I probably ever read.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Very
It
cool.
was fully illustrated. Yeah.
I'm glad you're here because I was pulling things from his website that I just don't know that much about. I was just pulling from images that I really enjoyed. Some of his Batman stuff.
Oh, I love that.
Look at that cult there. It's just
Yeah. So good.
really great stuff. Captain
Stern. Sorry.
And then the rest is just like a collection of things that is on his website that were for film and television and fun.
Love it.
This
Ooh,
is that's the Mist.
Yeah.
That's the spider from the Mist, Stephen King. Look at the drawing. Jeez.
Yeah.
I love these. These were really fun.
Wow. His use of positive and negative space is just awe-inspiring.
This so much
Yeah.
reminds me of a Frazetta.
Mhm.
Think of the are they crocodiles? What are they?
John, can you give a little bit more context for those who don't know, maybe?
no, just of this, some really great characters, creatures that Frank Frazetta drew. His drawing style, the way he's drawing this really reminds me of a Frazetta drawing. The one on the right. Look at that.
Wow.
Hold on.
Ooh.
Big trees.
And that's it. So anyway, I thought it was
Nice.
fun to kind of pull all that together. He died in the middle of that Frankenstein Alive, and that was in 2017. It was, I remember having a long conversation with George that day. He was really broken up. One of his heroes. Anyway, that's my spot for tonight. If
That was a good one.
you don't know who
Bravo.
Bernie Wrightson is, you do now. Check him out, and just a master.
No, Frankenstein is maybe it's one of the few stories I would confidently say there has yet to be an adaptation that beat the original book. Other than maybe Young Frankenstein. I like
Young Frankenstein is pretty
better.
amazing.
Young Frankenstein's better than the book.
Right. It's the only way to beat the book.
It is the only way to beat the book is with comedy. Yeah.
But you know, if the original Boris Karloff
Yeah.
monster, all of that was so powerful at the time it was made.
It's I was wondering when I'm trying to remember well I was wondering after you brought, because you told me about your topic for tonight, John, and I was thinking about that because I don't know, you know, who's recently read the book, but the book is actually very cinematic. Like,
Right.
the scenes that are like laid out in, like, especially the opening scene is like you can imagine, it's so cinematic. And
I read it 40 years ago.
yeah,
But
I
I
reread
have
it a
the
couple years ago. It's great.
I have the Bernie Wrightson. I mean, the Bernie Wrightson book that John showed is the full unabridged Mary Shelley's like text.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
the
So yeah,
John, you like to know.
I can't speak to everything. Yeah, because I haven't.
Yeah,
seen
I mean,
yeah.
but the John would like to, you know, be interested to hear that. That's the one book I didn't read. I just looked at the pictures. I didn't read the text. So I have yet to read. I own that book, but
Good for you.
I've looked at all the pictures.
If it's the original story, it's got to be a pretty thick book then. Right?
Oh, it's huge. Yeah. Yep.
It
Yep.
was
It's like
Oh, Adam,
Full
that looks
illustrated.
amazing.
Nice,
great, Adam.
Nice.
He did 50 pen and ink drawings for that book.
oh
And
yeah,
look,
Timmy. He didn't. John didn't even show. I mean,
Oh,
he
just
might have
a-
shown maybe a
third
very
of it?
small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the text? How was the text incorporated? Let's see. I bet I can get an answer using the internet.
The old Google web.
Yeah.
Don't do
It's
that.
it's pretty classically done. It's like text, and then you get
An
full
image.
page
Full page image.
illustration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now I
Yeah.
need
It's
to-
like a
thank
novel.
you.
Yeah.
You saved me.
Yeah.
You saved me like 20 seconds. Thank you.
Yeah. It's not worth the show. It's not worth the search.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna show you what Verity did real quick. It's time for her to head to bed. But
Okay,
here's
cool. Let me see.
Verity's. She wrote, "You
Oh, let me
clown."
spotlight it.
Oh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Great.
Creepy, actually.
Wow,
Yeah.
Verde. Nice.
I like what you
Nice.
did.
Look at that. Look at that negative space usage. Why am I
Yeah.
spending all this time on a nose? It's already done.
I
Look at
like
this.
it.
I'm a YouTuber.
I don't
Good
think I
job.
could have spelled clown at that age.
No.
I like that she made it all drippy and bloody. So there you go. So,
Awesome.
good job, Verity.
You like that too.
You send a night?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining
Thank you,
us.
Verde.
Always welcome to be here.
See you next Thursday. Hopefully, My mom lets me.
I don't know. She's showing us up pretty big, pretty hard. So
Yeah.
I know I'm still blocking in, and she finished and did fonts. So
yeah, yeah. And type. I had extra time,
mm-hmm.
so I illustrated type. Yeah. So you look at that. If you look at the Frankenstein, it's not like the crazy thing about that book is that it's so densely illustrated that you would think that there would be, I don't know, maybe like a percentage of them where Bernie writes and was like, okay, I've got a lot of work. Let me just simplify this one, make it simple so I don't kill myself. And the answer is no. I mean, like all of them is just like,
Yeah.
he went so hard on every single piece. That would have just broken me.
It's his piece for sure.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. It's like this is not maybe this is a knock against the assignment itself of the you look at that work compared to like the TV guide cover, and it's like, okay, he did that TV guide cover in a day or 2 days.
Mhm.
And he did those other things over a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Like, that's a great point to bring up, John, because there is an art to getting something done extremely fast, and especially those days when everything was traditional. Like,
Right.
you had to know how to make it look like it took a ton of work when it didn't, or it took a ton of time when it didn't. Not that it was a lot of work in a very small amount of time. Like the techniques were developed to help with the speed, and to help with those deadlines. I mean, it's like what your dad was doing, like, like the Reagan TV guide cover, right? Like
Time Magazine.
that was like Time Magazine, sorry. That technique was it dry brush oils?
It's
What was
exactly
that?
it's exactly what I'm doing right now. He did it on a mid-tone, like this is a Canson paper, and he used oil crayons, Prismacolor pencils, and dry brush oil.
Yeah. So it's just like if you couldn't do a Time Magazine cover with Norman Rockwell's technique.
No,
Like, they're
well,
just incompatible. It's like, in a sense of like spending that much time with the photo shoot, the full drawing, the underpainting, like deadlines are a little different, and you could tell it. So what I'm saying is, like, they're all like, you could tell Wrightson really tried to paint that thing, and it was just like, well, I'm not sure if he probably ran out of time or it was something like he had to do fast. Whereas like a technique that he's using for Frankenstein, like you were saying, like, you can't do that quickly and do it well.
no.
It just doesn't work like that.
And I was just looking at well, the last time I had my Bernie Fuchs book open, all his TV guide covers that were in there. And
Yeah.
some of them are just like this simple drawing with a couple splashes of paint on them. They were
Yeah.
and they were exquisite.
Well, what was the deadline on something like that?
My dad's, it was interesting, like that Reagan cover my dad did for Time. That was he did 3 finishes for them. He turned in all 3 in 3 days.
Wow.
And that was the one they chose. And he said that was one of the few times in his career, because it was Reagan, it was cover of Time Magazine, that he thought, okay, I'm going to miss sleep over this. And he just really went for it.
Yeah. And what about the time, like, with
they probably had a week.
Yeah. It's
And
just kind of crazy. I mean, I remember Richard Amsel. I loved all of Richard Amsel's pieces for the TV Guide because he would do it differently every single time. He'd have some drawing, he'd have some
yeah,
acrylic and color pencil and different styles, more design oriented.
you'll laugh that right, you'll laugh about this. I remember, well, in the house that I grew up in, my room was it was a really old when we moved, it was a couple hundred years old. That was 50 years or 40 years ago. We moved from there 45 years ago. And the my bedroom was up. It was like built into the side of this hill. My bedroom was up really high, and the driveway, where your cars came in, were like right below my bedroom. And about once a week there would be a New York taxi cab that would spend the night in our driveway and waiting to drive his image into New York and deliver it. That's how he delivered
You're,
it.
That's
you're
just
kidding.
wild. Who paid him? Would it be the magazine?
Publication paid for it. They sent the cab out, and it would just sit there in the driveway till he was done.
That guy would be snoozing the night overnight, and he'd be
Yeah.
just like,
Pretty funny.
wow.
See your dad walking out, knocking on the window to wake him up and hand him it.
Yeah,
That's wild.
Wow.
that was a different world.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the things. I mean, so you had to live, if you wanted to do that type of work, you had to live close to New York City. You had to
Right.
be able to deliver the originals to them quickly. Amazing how much Federal Express overnight delivery changed the location of illustrators. Think of all the, following my father, Bart Forbes became, really sought after and was doing, quite a few of the women's magazine work.
Who is Bart Forbes?
Bart Forbes was a very, I did a spot on him here one night. Just an incredibly good, and still is. He's painting more now, but he was a great sports artist and very good illustrator. But he started out doing a lot of like women's magazine, and he was able to do it from Dallas because of Federal Express.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Timmy. Richard Amsel was a illustrator back in the 70s and 80s. He was mostly known for his movie poster work. He did Mad Max and the Thunderdome. And he also did the original Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Iconic stuff.
And he did
iconic stuff. And the Sting. Look at the Sting. Look up the Sting.
I know.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my
He
favorite.
did that movie poster.
Actually.
Yeah.
He did a ton of TV guide covers though.
Man,
Yeah, I got a bunch of them somewhere. Yeah, that was in the style of J.C. Leyendecker, obviously, but it was a turn of the century illustrator for those wondering. It was probably still, I think, visually one of the most influential illustrators of our time.
Yeah.
Leyendecker?
Like Leyendecker, yeah. Like if you look at Fortnite or Team Fortress 2, like, some of these iconic video games, it's literally J.C. Leyendecker.
Oh yeah.
They've said it. I know when Valve came out with Team Fortress 2, they were like, yeah, we basically looked at J.C. Leyendecker. There it is. There's a Sting. Yeah. See, it's supposed to replicate a Saturday evening post cover, for those of you wondering.
Yep.
What's that?
Isn't that cool?
It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Man, I raved about that movie to some people. It was like 5 people around. I was like, it's the best. It's the best heist movie ever. I talked to all 5 of them to like, let's sit down and watch this like 2.5-hour movie.
Hmm.
Oh, it was
Oh
brutal.
no.
It was brutal.
Oh no, Tim.
Like I kind of thought it was slow. And then I'm like looking around the room, being like, oh no, everybody wants to turn this off.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like that with I mean, it's not that it was a bad movie, it's just people have a different palette for pacing now, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I agree.
Like it's just not it's I loved it. But there's also some anxiety when you like rave about a movie.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
course.
And
you
then you
sit
feel
down
like
with
you have to
people
defend your opinion.
and you're just like, oh, this is it's
Yeah,
just,
you put yourself on the stand there
you do. And then
for
when
all
it
to see.
if it does anything then like blow people's socks off, you're like you're in a tight spot.
That just happened to me.
Really?
Yeah, I was raving to my granddaughter about how great The Jungle Book is.
Yeah, it's a rough one to rewatch. Yeah. Yeah, for a couple reasons, John.
And, and she didn't like it as much as I did.
Because she's progressive. Very progressive 3-year-old.
That
Oh,
that movie was really important to me. I love
Yeah.
that.
oh man.
I mean, I grew up with it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Milk Call, baby. Milk Call was one of the 9 Old Men Disney animators.
Really? What year did the original Jungle Book come out? The not the original animation.
I'm gonna guess
the
67,
60s. Yeah.
68, right around there.
Because
Yeah, because
yeah. Go ahead.
go,
Sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead. No,
No, you say what you're gonna say. What you're gonna say is more important than what I'm about to say.
well, no, I think that because I'm thinking about the looking up a cell. I think this was done with Xerox drawings when they Xeroxed. So when the Xerox machine came out, Disney figured out that they could save a lot of money by getting the drawings Xerox onto the actual animation cells. Because what they would have to do is somebody would actually would have to do a drawing. It'd be handed off to an inker, and they would have to ink it onto acetate. So they skipped that
Wow.
that process, and it gave it a different look. It's more of a kind of a dirtier type of look, but you could see with that and the Sword and the Stone, it was a nice cost cutting measure. So that's what I was thinking in my head as to like where you could tell by that point in time. So 67, yeah. Sorry.
I went to see that when he was in college with his best friend. He said they loved it, and then they stood up and they could see straight across to the exits because there were no other adults in the room.
Oh.
And they were like these two 20-year-old guys who went to see the movie and realized like everyone else there was like 10 and under.
Well, maybe everybody was just short.
I think
Yeah.
My experience with that was I took Alice out on her birthday a few years ago, and I took her to SmackDown wrestling. And we were expecting other adults. And we got there and we were just like, do you know that you could be the only adult in an arena? It was insane. Yeah.
I love that you took Alice out.
That was like a visual arts
to- to
passage
sm-
treat.
Wow. Shout out to Alice. Wow.
Yeah. No, the Jungle Book came out in 1967, like you said, Ray. And I was thinking about animations or movies or just like things that I watched as a kid that came out many, many, many decades before I was born, but still managed to like connect with the little, like the contemporary little kid, right? And
Yeah.
and not just like in my house, because like I grew up watching I Love Lucy. Like I think I've seen every single episode of I Love Lucy. Most of my friends
That's
have not.
awesome.
Most of my friends have not, but the Jungle Book, I would say everyone I know saw the Jungle Book at one point during their childhood. And it was like, so it's just interesting because I'm thinking that maybe that's like some of the oldest media that like I was obsessed with,
Yeah.
that like because I'm trying to think of something that I would have watched that would have been like way older that would have been a big part of my childhood. I guess you look at like
You watch Snow White?
yeah, I was gonna say
Seven
Snow
Dwarfs?
White, but
Yeah.
Well, for me,
I
it
don't
was
think it was
like,
very Snow White. It wasn't really important to me, but that's not to. I mean,
Right.
that's just a personal thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I
when
grew
I
up in
was
a
a
house
kid,
of boys.
though,
You know,
all of those classic movies were released onto videotape for the first time. So like
Mhm.
Yeah.
that just made
Do you
it.
remember that, Cassandra? When they
Yeah,
were
do you
like,
remember
we're
there was
opening up the
like,
vault. We're gonna close
yeah,
it. We're
there's
gonna
the
close it
gold
right back
release
up,
and the
then
silver release and the platinum
you'll
release,
never see it again.
a
Well,
diamond release.
I was just going to bring that up and say, okay, think about how effective the Jungle Book was. And imagine, because it was like the only game in town when I saw it, and they put it in a vault for 7 years. You could see it for a couple months. I couldn't see it again until I was 14 or 15 years old. And
Yeah.
it was like something you could watch multiple. I mean, I went and saw it one time. Ray, you'll get a kick out of this. And well, I think all three of you have met this artist, a really well-known illustrator by the name of Fred Otness. I saw the Jungle Book with Fran Otness and my mother.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
That was my mom's best friend.
Oh, nice.
Real quick
Robin Hood with the
question.
fox. Yeah, go
What
ahead.
pose are we supposed to be on? I saw that
We're
question.
about to start the third and final pose, which thank you, Cassandra, for saying something. We're moving on to third and final one. It's going to be a relatively long one. It'll bring us to the home stretch. Please post your work to Instagram. It's hashtag drawing hive, hashtag drawing hive 222, and add visual arts passage. Post it now. Don't wait till the end.
So I have a question for the panel. I am trying for the life of me to remember a Disney. One thing as a kid that frightened me so much was this short, a Disney short with the headless horseman.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I don't remember, where was that from?
The
'Cause it wasn't a
animated one?
movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was like a Halloween special and like there was like a couple cartoons put together for it and that was one of them. And yeah, that one was terrifying because it like the ending was you don't know which ending is the right ending.
Right. No, I mean
The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Yep. I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay, that is the oldest thing that I grew up with, like it being like a mainstay. I watched it a million times. That was from 1949.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Timmy, you didn't watch like the Max Fleischer Supermans?
I
You
mean,
know what I'm talking about?
we're getting into a territory where there might have been things that I watched that I just don't know. You know what I mean? These
Yeah.
are the things that I can think of on the top of my head of like being the oldest. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm sure there was something. There had to have been something. But it is interesting because I hang out with my nephew and he's still of the age where I can put on anything and it's equally magical. Like it doesn't matter. Like if the story is good, that's all that matters to him.
Right.
As long as it's
You know
not
what I
the Jungle Book.
What was that?
Sounds-
He doesn't have the
Oh,
eye.
my kids, like they were on this huge phase a couple years ago where it was like the animated Robin Hood was on repeat. Like they just could
Yeah.
not get it.
Yeah, man.
It's so good. It was so well done.
I think that was the first movie. I could be wrong, and this is going off of old
Yeah.
knowledge. I think that's the first movie where they adopted that Xerox technique
I think you're
Cassandra.
correct on that. Yeah.
Really.
because they were broke.
Oh, on the topic of scary children's movies, I was with my nephew not long ago and I threw on Muppet Treasure Island. And I didn't realize how fragile of a system it is to be around like a little kid.
Oh,
I
yeah.
put it on and it's literally the opening scene. It's song and dance happening. And then it shows a bunch of skeletons singing and they're like goofy little cute skeletons.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Skulls singing. And he gets really serious. And he goes, Uncle Tito, what are those? And I was like, oh, don't worry. They're just skeletons. They're just singing skeletons. And then he was like, what's a skeleton? And I'm like,
Yeah.
we don't need to get into that. We don't need to get into that right now.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, you're like, I'd be like, hey, Tony, you're gonna have a talk with Teddy later, probably. Good luck. Good luck explaining the big chapters of life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. You crack into it so easy. You don't even know those forever. Those I was like, pretty sure I made a core memory this afternoon. Yeah, I think I cracked into his core memory vault.
Congratulations. Way to make it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I think that poster was illustrated by Drew Struzan, I think.
Oh,
That's another
really?
one. Yeah.
We're just filled with all kinds of connections today.
Yeah. On a more serious note, and on the topic of learning, for those of you who don't know, Visual Arts Passage, our fall semester starts this weekend. If you don't know what Visual Arts Passage is, or if this is your first time joining, we are just goofing around tonight. This is our drawing hangout. We try to make it educational, answer questions, things like that. But Visual Arts Passage is what John said. It's the engine behind Drawing Hive. And at Visual Arts
What I
Passage,
tried to say.
yeah, it's pretty
Y'all got
Not
there. Y'all got there.
surprisingly easy to say, but no, but Visual Arts Passage, what we do there is we offer mentorship style courses that are focused on illustration and fine arts. And it's all about improving your skill as an artist and really just achieving the goals to chase the things that you love. So, you know, if you love making art, if it makes you happy, I mean, one of the best blessings you can accomplish in life is making the thing that you love your livelihood, because it means you get to do it every day. And that is what our program is all about. It's about making that a reality. So we have classes that help you with skill development, technique. Some of our most important classes are on developing your voice as an artist, learning what makes you unique and tell a story. And then our most advanced classes are focused on portfolio development and chasing that career. Everything we do is taught by a working professional. They are professional artists first, and really incredible teachers second. And oftentimes those kind of switch, because the level of teaching I think is amazing. So it's very personal. It's not like, I can't emphasize that enough. It is not a webinar setting. You get to have a relationship with your teacher where they're gonna learn about you. They're gonna help you find out what drives you, how to make your art better. Because these questions are not one size fits all. They're unique to every person. It's yeah, this is not like the tennis sock of training. It's very custom tailored. And so yeah, so those classes start on Saturday. You can still enroll right now. 24 hours left though, so don't sleep on it. It's visualartspassage.com. Just go there, check it out. Yeah, I'm really proud of the students this year in particular have really showed up. We had 5 students. 5 students included in the Rising Star issue of Imagine FX. So they're going out and killing it, which is always a thrill. Brings a tear to the eye to see the students go out and really just impress people. So the results are in as far as our former students are concerned. But yeah, so don't sleep on it. There's nothing worse when you're, if you're passionate about something and in the back of your head, you need to take that moment, have that like deep down, honest moment with yourself. Am I going to be mad if I don't chase this? Am I going to be mad in so many years if I didn't chase it when I was X years old? You got to ask yourself that. And I believe that our program, more than any other program out there, helps you chase it.
I'll agree with all that, Timmy. It's like everything that you're saying is what we do in class. And that's what a mentorship is. I mean, what a true mentorship is. in our world, we're always talking about historic artists and how things, how things used to be compared to how they are now. Well, a lot of the illustration in our world was done by studio people that, people got out of school and they went to work for a studio. Now, there's certain part of the industry you can still do that. Animation world, some of the biz dev artists that go to work in animation or in the game industry or entertainment industry. But the illustrators that do a lot of the type of work that we do, or a lot of the painters, there's not really a system for it like there used to be. My father got out of school, he went to work for a business called Art Staff. He originally was an art director, but he became an artist there. And he got to learn under other artists as like a junior artist being there. And all of that is pretty much gone away to a certain extent. And so finding a community of professional artists that will bring reality to you of what they do day in and day out in the industry. There's kind of the concept behind our program. It's always been that way. I've always thought teaching art should be based around, well, really, it's been based around kind of my experiences and learning from really good artists. I didn't have a traditional college experience of, going to art and design college. I learned from these artists that were working in the industry. And that's where our education comes from. It's like, how do I relate to other artists or to people who want to learn, organize a group of artists that will deliver the information to help them become professionals. And that's been the basis of how we put everything together. And it really works well.
It does work well.
Yeah, I would say that it works so well for the students. It's almost a bad business. Just it's so great. And John, like you're saying, like the community aspect of it. I mean, community is huge with anything you want to do. And John and I talk with like art school students pretty frequently. John more than me, but talking with students is actually really interesting because they kind of have to take your word for it, because you're like, you don't understand. You're going to graduate in about 6 months and you don't realize this now, but you have no idea how crushing it's going to be when that community, if you're not able to maintain that community, it sucks. It is so hard. And that is a pretty hard thing to do after school. But being able to tap into people that like love what you also love, it encourages so much growth. It's crazy. So like we have that, but my attitude about that is just like, whatever you love, find a community that embraces it, because you're gonna, however you find that, you're gonna accelerate so much faster. Yeah.
Well, we do that.
Yeah, we do that. Did I mention we do that? Yeah. But like I said, if you do have questions on Drawing Hive Nights, you can ask them. We won't just talk about movies we love and hate. We will actually talk about technique, which actually we've had a pretty healthy conversation tonight. This wasn't quite like the Tyson. This wasn't a Tyson episode, or a UFC episode like we've had in the past. Where it's like the end of the episode and I'm like, oh dang, we're enrolling. And we're like, good night.
I take no responsibility for those.
Yeah.
Well, and
Instant
I just
vaults.
want to, we try to say it a lot, but like I'm a product of the Illustration Academy. Like I went twice, and I was surrounded by generous professional artists of John and other amazing artists 20 years ago, and they were so generous with their information, and that really, really like inspired me, gave me information, and showed me it was possible for one, and then they showed me how it was possible for them. And so coming
Yeah.
off of that, I'm excited to equally show that it's possible and how it's
Mhm.
possible. And I want to share that information too, because I just I don't like that idea that there isn't room. I think there's room for everybody. If you're working hard and your art is good, like there's always room. So like
Yeah.
Absolutely.
we want to help you make
Also,
space in this community.
also, yeah, I love that. Making space in the community. There, the space is there.
Yeah.
Also, just a shout out to anyone who gets stressed out about AI. Like it's gonna be okay, but it's about your voice. It's totally about your voice. And these programs, that's what we focus on. How do we tap into your voice? How do we make it so you're not just mimicking someone? Mimicking the people you love, which mimicry is, it's part of getting there. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
everybody
It's how you
catches
learn,
themselves doing it,
Mhm.
but it's not how you build a portfolio or a
it's-
body of work.
well said. But like these are the things that it's like, how do you equip your tool belt, to enter the woods with, the most defenses and most, like prepare yourself for the industry because it's competitive, but it's always been competitive. But I would say that today there are more opportunities for illustrators than there ever has been.
I agree.
And
I-
finance.
And gallery painters. Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. That's just such an interesting thing. When we added the gallery program, which Ray and Cassandra and I both, or all three of us deliver, just think about like demystifying how that works. I mean, most people have no idea how would you approach making a living as a gallery painter? How does all of that work together? And you got three people that do it and they can tell you exactly how they do it. And it's great. I mean, it's really enjoyable from my end to watch and
Yeah.
watch these students like figure this stuff out. We just had a couple last year we had a student get a one person show coming right, currently in the program, and just had a student just recently book a one person show. And
Oh, and
that,
Aaron
and then
Rufino,
so there's
that was wild.
yeah, we've had three inside of a year.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, and a couple have gotten
yeah,
grants too, art
yeah.
grants.
Yep.
Which John, you said like three, and somebody might be like three out of what? These are very small programs by design because it's a mentorship. We want you to succeed. We can't do the classes can't have 100 people in them. So this is three out of a pretty dang small group.
Right.
And I remember Aaron reached out to me and was like, "This gallery." Do you remember this, John? Aaron forwarded us an email and was like, "This gallery contacted me after the class and wanted to know if I would want to be represented." And I remember being like, I having ultimate like total confidence in Aaron's ability, but just being like, I don't know, be careful. That might be a scam. And then we like looked into the email. I did like me and Aaron did like we spent like an hour like doing some research and like let's make sure this is real. You can't be too careful.
Yeah.
And in my defense, Aaron reached out being like, "Is this real?" And we did some research and I was like, and there were some like telltale signs in the email it was just a weird deal. But I was like, I think it's real. And it was.
Yeah.
Really could have shot the gallery in the foot if I had the gallery program in the foot if I'd been like, that's a scam. No. So it's
Block.
amazing. Yeah. But for anybody who wants to know, so we have guest speakers come every semester. I'm gonna read off the names real quick because I know we've talked about this for a while. It's David Cassan, Francis Vallejo, Iris Compiet, Tony Rodriguez, Afua Richardson, Scott Anderson, and Jason Sealer. And the reason I wanted to read off all the names is because we have what's called study hall every Wednesday night, which is just, I think of study hall, it's like, it's this amazing meetup of it's all critique, but it's kind of a hang, and you get to learn so much about your own work, but so much about like the universal problems that artists run into as they're working. And one of the things that's really cool is this semester, Jason Sealer, who's a guest speaker, Jason Sealer is going to be coming to most of the study hall sessions.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so Jason Sealer is going to be, and Jason's a killer. I love Jason's editorial work and caricatures of politicians, and it's amazing. But you're gonna seriously be able to tap into you just get to tap into the industry. It's amazing. So we'll talk about some fun stuff now, but it's just important to remember that the enrollment ends tomorrow.
Yep. Something that I always feel really good about, and that's what we do in that program.
So you guys seen any good action movies lately? Just trying to keep... I was hoping for a laugh at least. Jeez. That's what I was going for. No,
So I've been
Go ahead,
so
Ray.
when we were talking about how pacing has changed and
Yeah.
what's acceptable back then is not like acceptable now. I've been in the background rewatching Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Okay.
Right?
Nice.
And
That is
and
a show.
it's like, wow, this the writing on it is so good. And I every like all my favorite episodes, I was talking about it with my wife. I was like, all of my favorite episodes would be deemed unwatchable by today's standards. There's like no way if you were to take that script and put it into a mainstream show, I don't think that would fly.
Yeah.
Or like just like
yeah.
I don't think people standing around talking about like you would have to do it differently, of course, and like good story is good story, I get it, but like you know what I mean, right? I mean, like the pacing itself was so slow. Like let's run a test. Like 1/3 is like, they run 3 tests, and the third test, building knowledge, but they talk about the test and why they did it and everything like that. I'm like, this is great, but I don't think like a TikTok generation could handle this on prime time.
I mean, yeah, I don't. It's funny because
Maybe not.
well, it's funny because all the things that I think cause that like I don't know, that pullback from that like the pacing of back then to now are things that I personally think I don't buy into. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like on TikTok constantly. I'm only on Instagram basically for the school usually. And I'm not saying I don't go down wormholes. I've definitely ruined the school's algorithm. But I still am like, what's up with the pacing on this? I remember loving this when I was a kid. And another one, this is gonna sound like I've got a thing out for Robert Redford and Paul Newman. I think they're both the best. The best. But I watched Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. This is when my dad was still around. We both rewatched it, like when he was in Houston getting treatment, and he turned it off. He was like, God, this is so boring. This is like a guy that loved that era of filmmaking, so it's not me. If you got beef with that opinion, you take it up with Tim. Take it up
Well,
with Tim.
there's also like I noticed that back, like it was common for those movies, and you don't realize it until I didn't realize it until rewatching them now. It's like, wow, a lot of the times, and especially with Star Trek too, it's like there's no music, there's nothing, it's just people talking.
Oh my gosh, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that.
There was
It's
a lot
like
more
absolutely
sound
silent
design too. There was a lot more
Yeah.
sound design, meaning that they filmed everything and then re-recorded the audio entirely.
Right.
And so it often sounded sterile back then.
Right. That's true.
That's so funny you guys bring that up, because I was one of the things, because I saw that when it came out, And the soundtrack to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was a huge success. So
Yeah.
that's how much all that has changed.
I don't particularly, I knew what Ray was talking about. I don't know that I would say that for that flick. You know what I mean? I don't have a super strong opinion on any of this, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm just
I guess the point I was trying to make was
Yeah.
the fact that, like, I don't think the
Yeah.
machine would have allowed that to be created. Like,
Yeah.
Paramount wouldn't have looked at that and be like, let's just do it like this, because this is what is entertaining. Like, if you compare it to what Star Trek is now, you know.
I was listening to, this is years ago, Mark Maron was interviewing Alfred Molina, and Alfred Molina was talking about his like directorial debut. He was doing a film that he was shooting in Italy, and they did the first take, right? And he's got an entirely Italian crew. They do the first take, and this Italian crew just will not shut up. Like, everybody's talking during the first take, and he's just like, he like yells cut. He's like, what the heck? You know, shut up. We're trying to film a movie here. And then he just hears them all talk to each other in Italian and then kind of stare at him, right? And somebody pulls him aside and is like, Alfred, you're shooting a movie in Italy. People are going to talk. And he's like, what do you mean? How are we going to do the movie? And he's like, oh, you're doing all the audio later. And he was like, that's terrible. He was like, well, you know, if you can figure out how to get the Italians to stop talking, then you can do the audio now, but you're probably not going to figure that out. And I didn't realize that, but like, yeah, movies typically made in Italy. I almost said Italy. In Italy, movies made in Italy, they often do the sound in post entirely.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how the spaghetti westerns were, right?
Yeah, the spaghetti westerns, obviously.
Right.
But like back then, like a lot of movies did it that way because it was just way easier. But now, like, this is like contemporary filmmaking in Italy. They're just like, it would be too much of a burden on the crew. You know.
Surprised Timmy didn't say in the mother country.
My
In the mother
motherland.
country, yeah.
Yeah.
My future mother
Italy.
country.
Yeah. 26 days, people. Going
Not
to
that you're counting or anything.
my big meeting. Yeah. I am counting. I'm pretty nervous.
You should be. You
about it.
worked your butt off
I'm
to get there.
extremely nervous. If anybody wondering, I'm applying for my Italian citizenship, and I have my final interview for it October 30th.
Do you get anxiety dreams at all? Like, does that?
Intensely. I can't find the building that it's in.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's like totally stuff that like
Yeah.
I do.
I get robbed and they steal all the documents that I have to submit, which took me
take
2
my
years.
wallet. We'll take the documents.
we'll take that
We want
super
the folder.
we'll take that super nerdy organized binder that you have.
It looks like a lot of money.
Yeah. No. I do have anxiety about it. I
can see the movie
about it.
all overdubbed.
It's like the
It was
stolen
shot in Italy.
bicycle. The bicycle
Yeah.
thief. The bicycle thief, but it's the binder thief.
Timmy running through the streets of Chicago.
Oh, no.
That's where you're going, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Wasn't-
Chicago. It's
Oh wow, you
Chicago.
have to fly to Chicago for it?
Yeah, I'm making a real trip out of it. I'm there for, this is how nervous I am for it. This is pathetic how nervous, like, it's a classic Midwesterner thing. If your flight is at like noon, you get there at like 9 a.m.
Oh, that's what I do. Always.
Yeah, but that's like Cassandra, you're a Midwesterner at heart. You are. I don't care where you're from. The Midwest embraces you.
I'm glad to know I'm welcome.
So my interview is at 10 a.m. on the 30th, and I am so nervous about flights or just anything going wrong because I booked this interview 2.5 years ago.
Oh my gosh. I did
It took
not
me,
realize that.
okay. And it took me 6 months to book it, meaning I had to go to this special website that where you book it for the consulate. And I had to have 5 or 6 computers. I would borrow devices. I'd have like 3 phones, 3 computers open. And it was like getting Taylor Swift tickets.
What?
They only create 2 meetings a day. Thousands of people are trying to get them. So it took me forever to get my meeting, right? And so to miss the meeting would be devastating. Like for anything wrong to go. And there's so many other things that can go wrong even once you get to the meeting, right? But to miss the meeting would just be devastating. And so I've originally scheduled my flight for the day before, and someone's like, what if your flight gets like canceled or something? Like that's happening so often. And then I was like, yeah, you're right. I should fly in 2 days early. It's so pathetic. I'm just like fully just like, I can live in Chicago for 3 days. That's fine.
Yeah, I was like, it's okay.
Well, you
Normal
know what?
people
There's
like
some great eating
finally
there. So
6
you'll
months a
just
week.
go
Yeah.
and get some
Yeah.
good food, comfort food while you wait.
There's a comedy club that does a show in a basement, which
Oh,
because
awesome.
I've done that, I want to go to that. I want to go to a basement comedy club. Like it's like in some
Like-
person's basement and they have a live band. And I'm like,
Oh wow.
oh,
Oh,
maybe I should
wow.
maybe I should do a live band at my next basement show. And so I'm like, I want to see this.
I'm gonna take notes.
I want to go take notes. So have you guys ever had an interview or like a a moment you have to like present an idea to people that you just like the build up to it was like
Yes.
nerve-wracking?
Mhm.
Oh,
Let's
God.
hear it. How do you prepare for something like that?
Lots of nightmares.
Really?
Yeah, I just work it out in my
Truly?
nightmares, I think.
You work it out in the nightmares.
I figure that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
Oh, I like over
That's amazing.
prepare
That's
and ride the anxiety until I get where
really.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in this case, I mean, yeah, the most recent case, there was really nothing I could do about any of it. So all I could do was be anxious. So I just decided to say, like, all right, brain, what do you got?
You just like white knuckled it.
Kind of, yeah.
I thought you had like a sit down talk, like an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Always bringing it back.
Okay, brain, options.
Right.
Callback.
Engage.
Little- I'm gonna get a
Engage.
callback button. Callback.
There was like this whole TikTok trend for a while where everybody was doing oh, who's like Jonathan Frakes, he's second in command. What's his name?
Oh, right.
Jonathan Franks, yeah.
Well, like everybody was doing his
Right,
sit down, how
Riker.
yeah,
The Riker maneuver, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I know nothing
so
about it.
it was like, oh, it was hilarious watching all of the Riker attempts of sitting down, and they would like have levels of difficulties. I don't know if you've seen those, but that was highly entertaining. And I immediately thought of that when you were saying you were watching. So then I'm like, are you sitting down in chairs differently, just like unconsciously because of watching that show?
Oh my God. It was that you described probably 3/4 of my grad school experience was just how many people can Riker maneuver, like who can Riker maneuver the best over the given chair that we're sitting
You
in.
know, it would be epic if you do an art reveal with a Riker maneuver. I feel like that would get you the views, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know, Ray, he's all about the views.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if
put that out there.
I you know what? I'm okay. I don't need to be as famous as you are, Cassandra. I have
But-
no
I'm
I
not
have
famous.
no chance
I'm
of
just
catching
making
up.
suggestions for you that I would enjoy. Like, see.
But like real question though, like when you are anxious about something, like like uh like a project, just like anything, how do you guys try to make the best of that, or like, or at least like quell it?
I'm actually a really high anxiety person, like to the point of like paralysis. So I sometimes I just have to. I think what happens is I try to work through it, and I try to in the back of my mind know that I'm in the wrong mindset. It's going to be terrible. Nothing's going to work out. And kind of like the next day,
Yeah.
I can do the thing.
Okay.
and still it's not a rule, but
Yeah.
that's the closest I can come to a predictable technique for you know, and and I guess, on some level it's like anxiety that you can pinpoint is like the best case scenario, isn't it? Right? Like better than
Oh, you know
general.
exactly what's causing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
if you're anxious about the job, you can go, well, I guess I'll find out tomorrow whether I like it or not, you know?
Yeah.
If you're just anxious about whether or not you made the wrong decision in seventh grade that led you to today, that's,
Uh,
that's a different story.
For me, one, I have to acknowledge it. Like if I try to pretend that I'm not anxious and
Oh,
overwhelmed by something that I'm trying to do that I feel is kind of outside of what I normally do in my comfort zone, that's when I set myself up to fail if I don't acknowledge it. When I do acknowledge it, that kind of gives me room and like allows me to deal with it better. When I try to not acknowledge it, I fail. Like I had an art show that I've been trying to get into this gallery for a really long time, and they finally let me in. And I was so intimidated by the list of artists that I was showing next to that I spent 3 weeks on a piece that utterly failed. I just kept trying to push this piece, and I wasn't kind of accepting the fact that I was intimidated, and I was trying to do a piece that was kind of beyond me. And I was trying to be an artist I wasn't yet. And when I finally just accepted what I should have accepted beforehand, that I was nervous and I was thinking I wasn't good enough. Then I did it. I had to do a new piece on a short deadline, and I got it done in 4 days. So I like for me, I needed to come to terms with like why I was feeling the way I did, and then I'm able to move past it. If I try to ignore it though, it never goes well for me.
I can't ignore it either.
Yeah. I gotta attack it head on. If it's something art related, I just gotta attack it head on and
Yeah.
just do, I don't know. It would really bother me early on in my career, but um because a lot of imposter syndrome always crept
Mhm.
in. Um and I guess it still does to a certain extent. But I don't know. I'm more okay with like as long as I tried my absolute best, I literally can't do anything else. There's like nothing else I can do. So I just tell myself that it's like if you tried your absolute best, there's literally you cannot expect anything more than that.
Yeah, you're working
And
with the
so
brain you were given, you
Right.
know?
yeah, and if if it doesn't work out, then it was a learning opportunity. You know, and
My
yeah,
dad
so
always said, like if things go south when I end up at the pearly gates, my excuse is gonna be I was doing the best with what you gave me, man. I always like that. I totally agree. Yeah, you doing your best. Yeah, doing your best. Because yeah, you're right. I mean, like when you do your best, you do your best and you fail. I've done my best and I failed, and then I've failed knowing, wow, I really phoned it in.
Yeah.
It,
mhm.
the phoning it in is so much more painful.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. And just learning, yeah, it's tough. It learning those lessons is always tough, but it's not it's like, iron sharpens iron sort of thing. And it's like it's the only way it's the best way to learn. So
Uh-huh.
um but we I think that's one of the great things about teaching is that you're able to I used to always tell students, like don't think of me as a teacher. I think of me as a student from the future,
I say the same
right?
thing.
Really,
That's
That's
just
amazing.
like
that's like the sci-fi like Ray
A, s-
response, and I love it.
a student
yeah.
from the future.
And so it's like I have been through the same, and it's kind of to paraphrase what my one of my mentors, Craig Nelson, used to tell us. He used to say, "Every mistake you've ever made in painting, I've made and more.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
don't worry about it. Well, I know how to I'll help you, and it's fine. And I tell students, it's like how I think in school you don't know how hard to push yourself, and you've never really so you're going to be coming up against that sort of like that ceiling all the time, and they're kind of false summits. um and I think when I'm learning or when I'm really pushing myself, I think that's where my anxiety comes in, because I don't know if it's a false summit or not.
Mm.
But and that's where it's like, well, if I know I'm just working as hard as I can or trying the best I can, then I'll just tackle it on tomorrow, and I'll try my best. And that's it, But
Completely
I
agree.
think that's and one last thing about anxiety for me is that if I'm not, I realize that I'm very anxious if I'm not having fun or enjoying
Yeah.
some part of the process. And I've really learned how to hold on to, if let's just say I'm working on a part of the painting that I know I have to get through. I've learned how to kind of um, fall in love with a specific part of that process. And that kind of distracts me from thinking about the stuff that is like, will the painting sell? This is big. Oh my goodness, it's going to cost so much to ship or frame, so on and so forth, right? And it's just like, well, just have fun with the painting, because it's if the painting's bad, then it doesn't matter,
That's other things
how
don't even
much.
make sense.
Yeah. So you ain't gonna frame it anyway, right? So or you're
It
gonna waste
answers
money on
all,
a
it
frame.
answers all the problems, right?
Hey, just real quick,
Right.
everybody, real quick, everyone, please start posting your work. We are going to check it out in about 5 minutes. Post it to Instagram using hashtag drawinghive222, and add Visual Arts Passage. Please post it to Instagram now. Don't wait. We're going there in 5 minutes. I want to see all of it.
So to conclude,
Yeah.
what I was saying was, I think one of the reasons why I like teaching is, especially at Visual Arts Passage, is that um all the teachers are so open about that. And I think that's
Mhm.
really one of the big draws, is that, everyone's just honest, everyone's just trying to learn, and everyone's trying to are constantly being a student. We're all students at
Yeah.
different points.
I think the fact that
in
you're
our
all
course.
here absolutely demonstrates that. You're just trying to be better. Just keep trying to grow. I
Yeah.
think I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, you guys get all your drawing hive checks. Oh
It
my
helped
goodness.
me
It's
afford
like,
this fancy cardboard.
yeah, it's such a sad, depressing laugh. Yeah. No,
As
I
as
think
I'm painting
anxiety,
this clown. Yeah.
we all, I feel like we all learned what anxiety was like at least I did like a few years ago. And you're just like, oh wait, you're not supposed to feel like this all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like it's kind of interesting because like I think about the life of an artist, and whenever you like, there aren't a lot of accountants that have been told like if you want your accounting career to really thrive, you're going to need to develop that voice of yours. you know
Yeah.
like you get to leave your id out of it for the most part, and I think that allows you to like draw that line in your life that separates your, and I think one of the worst things people can do is attach their value to their personal value and themselves to their skill and really anything. And
Mhm.
also their success or their ability to like do anything, like it's just so unhealthy. And I don't know. I feel like the topic of anxiety, I mean, everybody knows this because you listen to a podcast and you hear the BetterHelp ad every like 20 minutes. We all hear it.
Such a good one.
But I don't know. It's interesting because like the life of being an artist, like it's you live in a murkier world, like because it's your voice that is your career, for a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
That's
and that's where I was getting into, like, that thing about, like, how, like, just being able to discern between, like, your your, specific, I can point this out anxiety, and the like, I don't want to do this part of the picture anxiety, and the, oh my God, do I have a voice anxiety?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did
Well,
I
and
do?
also like when you're growing artistically, like we're all maturing and changing as we continue to paint. Like that never should end. But it's
Mhm.
also really scary when you're in the middle of it. You're watching yourself do something differently than you normally would, but you can't help but approach with some new variation. And that's scary because you wonder, like, okay, will they like what I'm choosing to do here? Like, is this an okay choice, but you want to push forward?
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think that's one
absolutely.
of the biggest arguments for community.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Timmy. It's like
Yeah.
surround yourself with others that have common interest and are trying to uh or and also very like-minded.
Yeah.
And I think you just grow exponentially that way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then this is my trick for anxiety. I have what I would call absolutely crippling anxiety sometimes. Like cancel the day. This is bad, right? And what calms my anxiety would probably cause like other certain people to have like an existential break. But anything that diminishes my purpose to like a speck of sand, right? It completely calms me.
Huh.
So like I was really stressed not long ago when I was in New York, and I went to the Museum of Natural History, and I went to they have a like a space area it shows um like it basically like brings to a physical space like
Yeah.
the time that is taken to form our universe, and it calmed me so well because I was like, nothing I'm stressed about. Not only is nothing I'm stressed about matter, but nothing that I'm stressed about right now is actually going to be a thing that I'm stressed about a year from now or 6 months from now. Or that was, 4 months ago. I'm not even stressed about it now. But that day I was like, oh, this is it. This is terrifying, right? Um, so like zooming out is helpful for me. I don't know.
That's really great to realize that.
A lot of people don't like that though. The like the I it's conversations that make people really uncomfortable, I think. Conversations about like, you only have one life. It's short. Things that some people would consider depressing.
Mm-hmm.
I find like very calming and just like, no, it's okay. You should just enjoy this. I tell myself like the more calm I'll be, the more happy I will feel. And then so therefore the more healthy I will feel. You know, I just like try to do all those things. And I don't know, it's not easy for me. I'm not good at it, but um that works for me. But I know some people that would be, I've told people that and they've been like, oh my God, that's terrifying. They're like, you did what? You Googled how soon people will forget you? And I'm like, yeah, it really calmed me down. Yeah. Uh,
Fantastic.
Staring into the void.
Staring into the void. Yeah. Calms me so quickly. No, oh man, I'm gonna walk around the room right now because we're heading over to Instagram soon, but this is great.
Clown City right now,
Yeah,
folks.
it is. Everybody
Yeah,
did clowns
seriously.
tonight.
Oh my God, Cassandra, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Why is
Thanks.
yours so much better than mine? I love it.
Yours looks fantastic.
Don't show my clown after that.
I forgot how long this takes.
Oh wow,
Oh,
John.
whoops.
Wow.
Oh, it's a
That's
mess.
cool.
Wow.
It's
But
That's
it
a
looks
really
like
cool mess, though, man.
looks like Tim
What
Curry
is
as a
that?
clown, which is amazing.
I got a long ways to go.
That eye though is his.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's haunting. Ooh,
That's so awesome.
that's cool.
You just
Wow.
use green. That's the trick.
It's just like after a
Oh,
birthday
that's
party.
fun.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and
That's
Adam, you
awesome.
got like them all done. So I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like
you
Yeah.
did about
I
4 of
can't
them.
believe you're like, don't look at my clown. I'm like, this is like what, your third or fourth one already? You just sped through all of them.
Which, so in the Discord they figured this out. This is from a film test, right?
Yes.
With Tim
Oh,
Curry.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
But the
Yeah, 'cause
light
someone
on
was
this
like-
is so much better.
Yeah, because someone was like, that's not Tim Curry from It. And I was like, another week in which people challenge the reference. Great.
I know. I read that and I was like, here we go.
No,
Xander
John,
came to the rescue and explained it.
I read it, John, and I thought, I will not be texting John 2 weeks in a row to correct reference.
God.
So I chose to ignore it, and I was like, the Discord people will figure it out on their own.
Now,
That's so funny.
this is such a cool picture though. Like
Yeah.
the light on this
Yeah, it
is
is.
just phenomenal.
And you just know there was like a cigarette out right out of the shot.
Oh,
You just
hands
look
down.
at Adam's
Of
shot.
course.
Look at that Adam shot. Adam's photo captures the cigarette right out of frame so well.
Yeah, right. It's
Uh-huh.
There's definitely a cig right in that bottom left corner. Yeah.
My grandma, she like was this really talented embroiderer, and so she had and a painter. She was really, really
Yeah.
talented, but she had a ton of clowns, like 1960 clowns in her house.
Oh, that's
I
crazy.
remember as a
Whoa.
kid, and I was like, that clown is staring at me, like it scared me.
right. Which is the
I
correct
once met a
response.
Oops.
I met a retired Ringling Brothers clown,
Whoa, that's cool.
and you could tell he was a clown without his makeup. Like he had the widest mouth I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's kind of terrifying, right?
It was kind of terrifying, yeah. And I saw him at a
Right.
funeral too.
Oh,
Ray, Ray, you'll get a kick out of this. I rented a house that used to be a Ringling Brother clown, owned it. Rented a house in Sarasota for like 3 years. That was part of the Ringling Brothers family, whatever. But a lot of the clowns had lived there at one point.
It's amazing.
That's terrifying.
I know George and I are like, okay, well, a couple more clowns, not going to be a problem.
Hey, are you guys ready to see some art? Sorry, we ran a little
Let's
bit
do
late.
it.
All right, let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
oh, that looks
That's
awesome. Jeff.
Nice.
Nice.
Wow.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah,
Shabbat,
nice
I
try.
love.
Love it.
Look at that.
Just remember, somebody needs a woe tonight.
Okay.
Oh my
Ooh.
god.
Whoa. Well, that was pretty early.
That's amazing.
That's beautiful.
That is fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, nice.
That's great.
Russian you got there.
That's amazing.
And scary little children are hard.
Look at that one.
That's awesome.
So scary
that
little
you, like,
children
turned
are
them off.
scary.
Yeah, that is fun.
Oh, that's
I love it.
fantastic.
That's cemetery. Nice, Arturo. Lovely.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
Pablo.
that's
Wow.
really
Nice.
cool. I love how you handled that.
Yeah.
That's fun. Cool panels. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh,
My Italian family.
Yes. All the clown faces are amazing.
It really is. It's so creepy. Oh my
Nice.
gosh,
nice.
Felicity.
Oh my
Great
God.
job.
hell yeah.
Leslie.
That's so
Ooh,
nice.
really nice,
All right,
Leslie.
yeah. Nice,
Good.
Eric.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
Yes.
Nice.
Love it.
All right.
Got a elastic on it.
Yeah, somebody
Oh,
just-
that's
Ooh.
nice.
Mm.
That's,
That's-
really
That's
nice.
beautifully
Cool.
done, Jack.
that really is.
Wow.
Nice, Jack.
That
Good
is
stuff.
lovely.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Here's Johnny.
Great job.
Here's Johnny.
Nice.
Great.
Oh man.
Nice.
Wonderful
Love it.
Moonchild.
Wow. Nice.
Whoa,
That's good.
That's so cool.
Nice.
Well
Very good.
done.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody that did Carrie is gonna kill it. It's such
Yeah.
a good one.
I
It's
well,
such an easy one, you
I
know.
just knew this was gonna get some good art this week.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's so fun. Every image was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice one,
Yes.
too.
Happy Nopes. Great name. Great piece.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
John, that's awesome.
Yikes.
That's
Wow.
Spooky push-ups.
Lo- Love the eyes on that.
Awesome.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Nice,
Fantastic.
Sander.
got that vein. Is it a vein or is it a scar?
Like a scar.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
look at that.
Jeez.
Great.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Nice,
Terry.
Terry.
So great.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
This. Great
Oh, wow.
job.
That's so creepy.
Oh wow. Great shit.
Ah,
Oh,
June.
June.
Wow.
Nice.
Good stuff. Love it.
Great job, June.
Way to go,
Nice,
Jim.
Nicole.
Nice, Nicole.
Love it. Oh,
Oh, that's nice.
Nice. That's good likeness too.
Mhm.
Ooh, that's
Nice.
cool.
Wow.
That expression was fantastic.
oh my gosh.
Nice.
Shalata, you got a lot done.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
I love that.
Sander.
Sander, that's really cool.
That's fun.
What the? Whoa.
You went for
Took
the
your own-
modern it.
Yeah, I love it. That's fun. You can always draw whatever you want. It's
Yeah.
always. Oh, fun.
Oh, I love that,
Wow.
Terry.
I love, look at Stephen King in the top right. There you go.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
So
great.
is
You can,
Stephen King.
that's like a great Stephen
Hey,
King
him.
likeness.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw that and was like, Stephen King.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Oh,
great
nice.
line work.
Awesome.
I just love seeing Jack Nicholson like this. This is
Yes.
great.
Reminds me of Art Crumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh, great.
Nice.
Really nice.
Jeez.
Dang,
Nice.
AJ. That's
AJ.
good.
Oh wow.
Great.
Oh,
Good
good.
attitude
gosh.
with that one.
Wow, Julian. Look at that one.
Wow, Julian.
Jeez.
Holy.
Lovely.
I love it. I love
Great.
Julian's like, yeah, Carrie, unfinished. Which is
Yeah.
break.
Ooh, really good likeness there. Kids are hard. That's really well done.
Yeah.
Oh my
Jeez.
Wow. Robert.
These people.
Oh,
So good. Look at that.
Oh, come on, Peter.
And
that tiny little hand is
Yes.
so creepy.
Can you give him the whoa? Because I'm just so
Yeah,
amazed. Yeah. And the glint in the
Whoa.
eyes.
Yeah.
Good
Look at the
shot,
heart, too.
Peter.
That's amazing.
Well
Awesome.
done. Oh, that's good.
Jeez, this is like a murderer's row, literally.
I know.
and figuratively,
Y'all knocked it
of
out
like
of the
amazing
park.
art. Wow.
Yeah.
Do it.
Awesome.
Oh, so good.
Spooky drawing's fun.
Oh, fun.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Nice.
Wow.
lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Wow.
Oh,
Great
Oh,
job,
cool.
Eric.
That's cool. I'll put that up on a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Not like in a room I was in often.
Oh, like in the guest
so
room.
creepy.
In the
guest room.
bathroom,
gets-
so she stares
Oh.
at you.
That is a hilarious piece of art for a bathroom.
I want to put up like some of my Jurassic Parks in the bathroom because I just
Yeah.
think it's so random.
Yeah.
Wow, Jeff.
Oh my god, that would be so
Oh,
funny.
Wow.
Yeah,
Terry,
nice stuff.
wonderful.
Nice, Terry. Nice,
Dang,
AJ.
AJ.
Jeez.
Oh,
So
wow.
good. So
Oh,
good.
that's cool.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice. I love that little
Yes.
nostril sneer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's great.
Ooh,
Oh my God, that's great too.
Tyler, this
Dang.
is so good.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
George.
Man, these are all so good.
That's Nicole.
Stuff.
That's great.
Great job.
Oh, nice.
Ah.
Marcy.
Nice, Marcy.
Marcy, wait,
Jeez.
Marcy finally got to do a clown.
Marcy, I love it
That's
Yeah.
so much.
That's great. Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah,
Very
Nice,
Maria,
Maria.
yeah.
awesome.
Oh,
Nice.
that's cool.
Nice, Peter.
wow.
A lot
You
done.
did
Yeah.
more than one painting. Oh my god.
Oh, that's some
Awesome, Aaron.
Nice.
great color too. Look at that. Nice, Rebecca.
Nice.
Great.
Oh, that's
Oh
fun.
wow.
Yeah.
So fun. Oh, I like how you handled
Nice.
that.
Yeah, this is a great night.
Wow.
Wow.
Jeez.
Everyone. Wow.
Everybody killed it.
Oh, nice.
That's
That's a great
cool.
treatment right there.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Nice,
Wow.
Sally.
Wow, look at
Yeah,
that.
Sally.
That's cool.
What is the
Well done.
grade?
Wow.
Whoa.
I think everybody had fun just
Nice there.
like with that red.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
So good. Yes.
Nice. Nice.
George.
Oh, fantastic. Those are good together like that.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice, AJ.
Ooh.
Oh, that's creepy. Good job.
That is really creepy.
The
I love that
stars in
really
the
creepy.
eyes.
Jeez, Peter.
Nice.
Wow, Pete. Pete Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete Studios, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
great.
Nice.
That little hand.
Gosh, Marcy, that's awesome.
I
Wow.
love it.
I would
Love
watch
it.
Marcy's animated Carrie.
Yes.
Yeah,
I want to see
seriously.
Marcy just do a bunch of spooky things that way. Wow,
Look at
Gary.
this.
Oh, Gary. Wow.
Ooh, nice, E.
Whoa,
Whoa.
E's just downstairs.
Give it,
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
give it a heart.
Yeah.
What?
I'm giving E a whoa.
Whoa.
Nice.
It's so
Wow.
good.
Nice.
So good. Wow,
Nice,
Chuck.
Chuck.
Oh, Chuck.
We're gonna start giving out woes way too loosely.
Oh, that's great,
Yeah,
Chuck.
but listen,
Well,
man,
there's a
these
lot of
people are-
woe-worthy work, okay?
There's a
It's
lot of
not
woe-worthy.
loosely.
There's a lot of
I really
woe-worthy.
like that piece. That's
Yeah.
Me
great,
too.
Chuck.
I love
That's
it.
beautiful, Chuck.
Yeah.
You got to reevaluate the woe system.
Yeah, we got the woe police here, you know?
I know,
Woe
right?
police.
Oh,
You're all worthy.
Aaron's weapon is
Oh, that's so
whoops.
fun.
Nice,
So
AJ.
fun.
Nice. Wait, Jay.
It's I don't know what's happening here. Sorry.
Nicole.
Water the- That's fun. Very clever.
Oh,
Jeez,
wow.
Gary. Oh my
Good
God.
stuff.
So
That's
good.
like a comic
Oh my
cover.
gosh.
Randy.
Hell of a one.
Oh,
Hell of a one to end on, Randy.
man.
Amazing.
That is a gem of a one to
Hey,
finish.
such a
Beautiful.
fun night. Just a reminder, everybody, enrollment closes tomorrow. So don't sleep on it. Reach out if you have any questions. You can call the school. You can text. I'll answer literally at any hour. It's pathetic, the hours
There
that
you
I'll
go.
answer. No, that was so much fun, guys. I really enjoyed everybody.
Great.
Good night.
Cassandra,
kicking up the
Ray,
spooky month.
Adam, thank
Yep.
you so much.
Yeah, if you have a spooky theme for next week, try to make they got to be popular. It can't be like a niche thing that only a few people like, or like
Watch her in the
small group.
woods.
Try to hit try to help us come up with a theme that's fun. It's a crowd pleaser. People are going to show up for it. I would love that. So
I gave my clown a cigarette.
I saw that. You got that hand in there so fast, Adam. Amazing.
Consummate
Hey.
illustrator, Adam.
Hey,
Yeah, don't smoke,
talking about
kids.
that.
Illustrator.
He appreciates
Ready
our
to
direction.
Right.
Also,
Thanks,
Figure it out
everybody.
for
yeah, can this be
Take care,
the Visual Arts Passage spokesperson?
Can this be the sweatshirt?
Yeah,
the chat bot. That's a chat bot right there.
just a jaded clown. All right, everybody. What a nice night. Everybody,
fun.
thanks so much.
Good night, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.